I don't think I've played this deep cut since about 1980, not in public anyway. It got supplanted by a number of other songs. Some of them I'll play for you later on, but this is a very obscure song. It's called You Made Me Love You, and here goes. You made me love you, woman, you took me by surprise. Ooh, you made me love you, woman, you caught me with my eyes closed. Ooh, you made me love you, woman, you took me by surprise. Ooh, you made me love you, woman, when I did not realize what you had in mind for me. Crept up quietly. Ooh, you made me love you, woman, when I wanted to be free. Ooh, you made me love you, woman, you took me by the hand. You made me love you, woman, when I did not understand you. Ooh, you made me love you, woman, you took me by the hand. Ooh, you made me love you, woman, when I would not understand what you had in mind for me and wanted us to be. Ooh, you made me love you, woman, when I wanted to be free. Ooh, you made me love you, woman, you took me by surprise. Ooh, you made me love you, woman, you caught me with my eyes closed. Ooh, you made me love you, woman, you took me by surprise. Ooh, you made me love you, woman, when I did not realize what you had in mind for me and wanted us to be. Ooh, you made me love you, woman, now take good care of me. Thank you. So that's an attempted rocker, although I never played with rock instrumentation until a lot later. That's a rock song. It's simple and it's got no bridge and it's just Anyway, I'll just let that one be its own thing. Hello, Barbara. Welcome aboard. Glad you're here. The Moody Blues were really important to me around the time that I was writing these songs. And I was a completist. I listened to every single one of their records, even the first one, Go Now, which had nothing to do with their later music that I admired so much. But I had to listen to all of it. I really had to absorb it. So that song and this next one are a little bit bombastic in response to that falling in love with that band. And with Jethro Tull and with Yes, and that was the kind of music I was listening to. In my freshman year in college, I fell madly in love with my best friend. We had known each other since we were 14, and we were both good students going to a school where being good students was definitely not what made you popular. We both got a lot of hell. And we bonded and became best friends. We went to the same high school, and then we went to the same college. And in college, she had a really rough moment. And she came and stayed at my place. And we held each other, and she cried on my shoulder. And I'm pretty sure I never, ever washed that sweater again. And after that bonding evening, I just felt crazy in love, like only an 18-year-old can. And so I wrote this song for her. It's called Alta Jean. Till the mountains are roused from their mighty sleep, till the oceans recede from the shore, till the living heart of Mother Earth is stilled forevermore, till there is no one to dream about the things that never could be, till the land is just a blackened scar that lines the aching sea, till the moon glares down with a demon's eye, and fire consumes the sky, till there is no thing such as death anymore, because nothing is left to die. I will love you. 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 Thank you. I still do. Still love her. We are still in contact after all these years. We stayed best friends. It never really turned into a love affair, but we stayed best friends for, ever. We still write each other a letter about every 2 or 3 years. One of us picks up a pen and paper and writes a letter and mails it off with a stamp and catches each other up on what's happened in our lives. Those kind of friends, pretty valuable. The next song I want to play for you was the product of a songwriting trance, which I've never really had it happen this way ever before or after, but really extraordinary experience. I was going to the Ron Bailey School of Broadcast in 1976, learning how to be on the radio, which was my big dream. And I was living on Capitol Hill in Seattle. I had a $75 a month studio apartment with a bedroom and a kitchen of its own, and a shared bathroom down the hall. And it had a kitchen table with a window in front of it that looked straight out. Oh, Barbara, you remember this place. I'm sure you'd been over there. I had a view of the Space Needle right out my window. About a mile away was the Space Needle, just right there. So it was a great place. And one evening or afternoon, I came home from school, and I sat down at the chair at the table, and I picked up my guitar and I started playing around with some chords. And this chord progression sounds like this. And I started to write a song around those chords. And 2 hours later, I kind of woke up, snapped up from a trance, and I had the song. Immediately, that same day, I could not remember the process of writing this song. And still to this day, I've never recovered it. I have no idea what I did. I just started writing it, and then there it was. It's a science fiction song. I think there ought to be more science fiction songs in the world, and I've written 3 of them. Played one last week, Lifeline, and now here comes Sweet Maria. Aldebaran is a bright red star in the constellation of Taurus. It's a huge red supergiant. The eye of the bull. The eye of the bull is red. Hundreds of times bigger than the sun. That's actually all you need to know about Aldebaran for the purposes of this song. Another bright star in the night sky is Rigel. Rigel is a cosmic lighthouse. It's hundreds of light years away, and it's 100,000 times as bright as the sun. Brilliant blue. And Rigel has 48 planets, and around the 17th planet they grow these black grapes. And from the black grapes they make what's called foaming Rigelian wine. The famous wine gets a head on it. It doesn't just sparkle, it foams, and if you don't drink it, it'll escape from your glass and get all over the table. And it's famous throughout the sector as an aphrodisiac. A hydrofoil is a fast boat. We have those here on Earth. It's not that exotic, but rises up on skis whenever it gets going fast enough, and then it can go even faster. A parsec is the unit of distance. It's the distance that light travels in about 3.5 years. The closest star to the sun is about a parsec away. And one more place to talk about, Vega. It's a beautiful star in the northern hemisphere, one of the closest stars to Earth, and it's a magnificent blue-white color. If you look at it through a telescope, it just has this lovely whiteness that has a blue tinge. One of the prettiest stars in the sky, even though it's just a pinpoint. It's just the color of it that matters, and this is where our story takes place. I met her in an underwater vegan bar. She looked all right to me, with crimson hair and a pink cigar from Aldebaran 3. I got behind her in the line and pondered what to do. I asked for foaming Rigelian wine, and she said, make it 2. Sweet, sweet Maria, dancing in the sun. Sweet, sweet Maria, it's not the only one. We drank our wine and danced all night. We laughed away our cares. We talked until the place closed down and the robot stacked the chairs. I called up an all-night hydrofoil and took her back to land. I started working on a classy line. She took me by the hand. Sweet, sweet Maria, dancing in the sun. Sweet, sweet Maria, it's not the only one. Ah, 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 Blue, white morning, we made some tea. She told me of her home, the hanging gardens of the southern sea, and the sirens of Salome. She said, why don't you stay with me? I do the best I can. A planet smaller than a galaxy, but it's bigger than a man. I said, the captain's leaving when the sun goes down. I'd like to stay with you, but life is sweet and life is short, and there's an awful lot to do. I said, sweet, sweet Maria, spinning round this sun. Sweet, sweet Maria, I'm not content with one. Half past 10 in the afternoon, I put my helmet on. By 13:30 I was on my way, and half a parsec gone. But I still remember that endless night, laughing in the grass. It seems like yesterday, I can't believe 100 years have passed. Sweet, sweet Maria, dancing in the sun. Sweet, sweet Maria, it's not the only one. Sweet Maria, spinning round that sun. Sweet, sweet Maria, I'm not content with one. Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to play that for you. Yeah. You know, I forgot to do something. I was going to put my PayPal in the chat, just in case anybody wants to donate to my living expenses while I'm out here on the road. It's paypal.me. I forgot to do this last week. /Gary D. Garrett. D. Garrett. I have Venmo too, but let's not go there. We'll just put PayPal on there. If you can't do PayPal and want to do Venmo, let me know. There we go. I grew up in Seattle, and in Seattle it rains over 200 days a year. Usually just a little drizzle, but you know, it basically got me totally used to gray skies and wearing a zipper sweatshirt or a coat all the places I go. I still don't know where my pockets are. I used to keep everything in the pockets of my coat because I had to wear a coat all the time living in Seattle. And in the fall of 1976, a late summer, August, it did not rain for a whole month, which the rumor was, I don't, I never haven't verified this, but at the time everybody was talking about it, that this was actually the first time in the history of Seattle that it hadn't rained for an entire month. Now I need some water, right? And finally, on maybe September 1st or 2nd, it finally rained, and it rained hard, buckets. The streets were running with water. And I put on my shorts and my T-shirt and my tennis shoes, and I went out in the rain. And I walked all over town, stepping in every puddle, getting as drenched to the skin with my long hair, fall full of water, and I'd shake it like a dog and spray it everywhere. It was so delicious to be out in that water, and I came home still wet, and I wrote this song. It's called Blues Down to My Skin. With my feet right in it and my head in the air, I feel it on my smile. It's the first I've felt it in a long, long time. I hope it stays around for a while. Yeah, I hope it hangs around for a while. 'Cause I'm walking downtown on a rainy day. Don't let the sun shine in. The sunshine never makes me feel this way. I got the blues right down to my skin. I got the blues soaking down to my skin. Well, I got no place that I want to go. I got no place I want to be. I got cool, clear water running down my face, and that's all that matters to me. Yeah, that's the only thing that matters to me. 'Cause I'm walking downtown on a rainy day. Don't let the sun shine in. The sunshine never makes me feel this way. I got the blues right down to my skin. I got the blues soaking down to my skin. I got the blues right down to my skin. Thank you. One of the things about, these songs from this episode, and you'll observe it too, is that they're all really different from each other. They're all in different styles. And that's something I try really hard. And it was probably around this time, or maybe a little bit earlier, that I started consciously doing that, just really trying to make sure I didn't retrace my steps any more than I had to. So each song has its own personality, and it's an attempt to write a song in a new genre. I was very conscious of that phenomenon with the late Beatles, where pretty much every song they did in the last years of their career was dramatically different from the others. Well, at the time, now we're into 76. We're still in 1976. And not only was I going to broadcast school, but I was also working at Time Life Books. And it was an extraordinary job. It was a boiler room. We were trying to sell books over the phone. So that's a brutal thing to do. It's really, really hard. So we only worked 4-hour shifts. And the people that worked there, but it had really good compensation, which was good money. And the people that worked there were really interesting. They were trying to make a living in 4 hours a day. and they were so that they could have time outside of work and energy to do their creative pursuits. So there were writers and singers and playwrights and politicians and just really fascinating people that worked there. Anyway, I had a crush on one of my coworkers. Her name was Terry. And one Friday she said, "Hey, why don't you come over to my house? I'm throwing a big party this weekend." And I said, "Great, my crush has just invited me over to her house for a party. That's exciting." And it turned out that this party was a special kind of party. The only beverage that was allowed was tequila. And I think I've been to about 3 tequila-only parties in my life, and all 3 of them have been exceptionally wild. There's just something different about a tequila party. And we used to call them teak-outs in college. At one point, I remember everybody was in a conga line dancing around the swimming pool and singing songs from Fiddler on the Roof. I had a lot of stamina in those days, and at the end of the party, there I was in the living room, and I was the last person. Everybody else had left. I was the last person at the party. So there I was sitting in the living room with Terry and her housemate, whom I had never met before and hadn't talked to during the party, didn't know her. Her name was Kitzi. And Kitzi said, "It's pretty late to be driving home. Why don't you stay here tonight? You can crash on the couch, or you could sleep in my bed with me." And I thought about it for a second. I went, "That sounds really fun to sleep in your bed with you. Let's do that. I love it." So we went upstairs and we negotiated, and all we were going to do was sleep together. This was going to be just sleeping, and we laid down about that far apart and closed our eyes. And after a short time, somebody's hand kind of closed the gap and just barely touched the other person. And things progressed so slowly and so deliciously from there. We ended up staying up the entire night and having a wonderful time. The only thing we were going to do is sleep, and that turned out to be the only thing we didn't do. And at some point, the birds started to sing. It was still dark outside, but I could hear bird calls, and we listened to those. And there's a thing about when the birds start to sing in the morning, there's a message in that, and the message is morning is coming. The sun is going to come up. It's coming soon. This night will not last an infinite amount of time. And so it was a really exquisite, poignant moment. Exquisite moment. And I wrote her a song. It's very short. Goes by pretty quick. It's called One Verse for Kitzi. Night is almost over now. The birds are always right. The candle and the clock agree. I'll hate to see the light. The blazing fire of a million suns will vanish with the dawn. But one good night with a woman like you will last my whole life long. I return your vow of friendship now and seal it with a song. The chance I had to laugh with you will last my whole life long. I return your vow of friendship now and seal it with a song. One good night with a woman like you will last my whole life.